Hello, students. Today you are going to be listening to this book, Karner Blue Butterfly, and it is about a very special butterfly that lives right here in the Albany area called the Karner Blue Butterfly. It lives in a micro habitat called the Albany Pine Bush. Chapter 1: Insect Buddies. A tiny green caterpillar chews on a tender leaf. The caterpillar is always hungry and spends its whole day munching away. Suddenly, an ant runs out onto the leaf. It goes straight for the caterpillar. The caterpillar stays still. The ant runs over and begins to tap the caterpillar. As it does, fluid begins to seep from the caterpillar's body. That means come out. The ant stops and takes a sip. Here, ants feed on the sweet liquid from a caterpillar. Wow. The liquid is so sweet and nutritious that the ant stays and drinks more. The caterpillar doesn't mind. Then more ants come and drink and stay for days. The caterpillar moves slowly from leaf to leaf, the ants following along, and so it goes. The caterpillar feeds the ants. The ants protect the caterpillar from attack. This relationship benefits both insects. Chapter 2: A Butterfly's Life. The caption to the photograph says, Karner blue butterflies are small. This Karner blue is a male. Male means boy. The Karner blue butterfly is a small insect. It is about the size of a postage stamp. And that's with its wings spread. So when you go to visit the Albany Pine Bush, you need to look for a very small butterfly. Male and female butterflies look quite different. On the top side of their wings, male's wings are bright blue on the upper side. Female's wings are dark midnight blue with orange spots along the back edge. The wings of both males and females are fringed in white. On the undersides, both have spots and look the same. The caption to this photograph says, "The wings of a female Karner blue butterfly are dark blue with orange spots at the edges." A Karner blue, like every other butterfly, goes through 4 stages in life. Those stages are egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Each Karner blue starts life as a tiny egg. The egg hatches into a larva or caterpillar. The larva is small, soft, and green. It also has tiny glands that produce a sweet liquid. The liquid oozes, comes out from pores in the larva's body. The caption to this photograph says, "All butterflies lay eggs." This egg layer is a common cabbage butterfly. The caption to this photograph says, "A larva or caterpillar must become a pupa before it can become an adult butterfly." You've already learned that we call this a chrysalis. Ants often come to drink this tasty liquid that oozes out of the blue Karner butterfly caterpillar's pores. Then they stay even after the larva goes into the next stage. Larvae with ants around it survive better than those without ants. The ants protect the caterpillar. After it grows to full size, a larva becomes a pupa. At this stage, it creates a case around its body. A pupa stays in the case for 7 to 11 days. Then the case splits open and out comes a beautiful blue butterfly. The butterflies must live where there are plenty of plants to feed on. One plant is especially important to the Karner blue butterfly. It is the wild blue lupine. Remember how you read about monarch butterflies and how monarch butterflies needed the milkweed plant? Well, this butterfly, the Karner blue butterfly, needs a plant called a blue lupine. And if it doesn't have that plant, it won't survive or live. The caption to this photograph says, "Butterflies come out of the pupa case as adults. This butterfly is a swallowtail." This is the plant that the blue Karner butterfly needs to survive. The caption says, "Karner blue larvae need to eat wild lupines to survive." In the pine bush, you can go for a hike and look for this plant. This is the plant that the Karner blue butterfly needs. The blue lupine is a plant with stalks of blue, purple, pink, or white flowers. It grows in dry, sandy soil. It grows best where there is not too much shade and not too much sun. Lupine is found mainly in the northern and eastern United States. Karner blues live in the north. They live in the Albany pine bush. Females always lay their eggs on or near lupine. When the eggs hatch, the larvae munch on the leaves. It is the only food that the larvae ever eat. The adult butterflies drink nectar from many different kinds of flowers. But without blue lupine, they would never make it past the larva or caterpillar stage. The caption to this photograph says, "A Karner blue feeds on nectar from a brightly colored flower." Chapter 3: Butterflies in Danger. At one time, Karner blue butterflies lived in 12 northern states and part of Canada. In the 1950s, novelist and butterfly expert Vladimir Nabokov first described and named this beautiful butterfly in Karner, New York. But over time, Karner blues have disappeared from Canada and 7 states. They only remained in New York, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. What happened? The disappearance of fields with lupine is the problem. That means they lost their habitat, or the place where they live. The caterpillars eat nothing but lupine. As fields with lupine disappear, so do the butterflies. Several things are causing lupines to vanish. For one thing, people are building roads, houses, and businesses in places where the lupine once grew. Farmers have turned some lupine fields into croplands. A lack of fire, which may sound surprising, but listen, a lack of fires is also affecting the lupine habitat. In nature, fires often start when lightning strikes a dry, grassy area. The fires burn the grass, bushes, and small trees. Such fires may actually be good for the land. They can wipe out scrubby and dead plants and clear the way for new plants to sprout. Before I turn the page, let's read the caption to this photograph. Vladimir Nabokov inspects a butterfly chart in 1964. This Russian-born American wrote novels and studied butterflies. Now let's read more about how fires caused by nature, not by people, can help the habitat. Fire also adds nutrients, like vitamins, to the soil so grasses and lupines can grow. The removal of trees also helps maintain an environment where the lupine can grow. This caption says, natural and controlled fires benefit wildlife in many ways. This fire is a controlled burn of a prairie land. That means scientists and firefighters are doing this to help the environment, not regular people. When you go to the Albany Pine Bush Discovery Center, there is an exhibit or a film that you can watch about these controlled burns. Many people work to prevent such fires and disturbances. They worry about fires getting out of control and grass and lupine being burned or torn up. Although these people are trying to protect grassy areas, they're actually doing just the opposite. With no fires blazing through or trees being removed, young trees have a chance to grow. As they get larger, their branches create more and more shade. In time, there is so much shade that lupines can't get enough sunlight to grow. Without lupines, the Karner blue butterfly disappears. Natural events can cause butterfly numbers to shrink or get smaller as well. Wasps and spiders sometimes eat the Karner blue caterpillars. Dragonflies eat the adults. Karner blues also become the meals of stink bugs and ladybugs. Very dry weather can cause the lupines to wither or die. And then there's no place for the Karner blue females to lay eggs. Destruction of lupine and butterfly habitat has gone on for years, and so has fire control. Over time, the number of Karner blue butterflies has dwindled or gotten smaller. The caption to this photograph says insects, such as stink bugs, feed on Karner blue butterflies. So it is a problem that humans have introduced, habitat destruction, and sometimes there are natural causes, like predators eating them. In 1992, it looked like the Karner blue butterfly might disappear forever. That year, the US government said the butterfly was an endangered species. Then, finally, people decided to do something about it. There are several kinds of rare, that means very special and very few, butterflies in the United States, including Florida's Miami blue. Chapter 4: The Road to Recovery. That means their numbers are getting better. In 1992, the Karner blue butterfly was endangered, but people could not start to save it right away. Instead, everyone needed to learn as much as possible about the insect, just like you're learning now. They didn't want to make mistakes that might hurt the butterfly population by accident, so they had to learn and study and read. The caption to this photograph says, "The undersides of the wings of a male and female Karner blue are silvery blue." Government workers and scientists studied the butterflies. They learned where Karner blues were few in number. They learned where the insects were more common. They studied the butterfly's habitats. Then they laid out plans to save it. The caption to this photograph says, "One of the first steps to saving an animal or plant is to find out more about it." This field worker is doing a survey of the wildlife in a woodland area. So we know that the first thing you need to do is learn. Many different groups have become involved in the rescue plans. In Ontario, the Canadian government is working to restore the butterfly's habitat where it lives. Zoo workers are learning how to raise larvae, and university researchers are learning the best places to release or let go adults. In New York, the Boy Scouts created a trail on their camp property. The trail has signs telling about the Karner blue. The Scouts also came up with a new badge. Boys who work to save the butterfly's habitat can earn the badge. In Wisconsin, landowners helped out. They worked with the government on saving butterfly habitat. They even planted lupine on their land for the Karner blue larva to eat. Even an airport in New Hampshire has helped in the effort by bringing back the Karner blue butterfly. Large grassy fields with lupine surround the airport. Butterflies that were raised in captivity, that means raised by people indoors, have been released or let go there. The caption to this photograph says, "Efforts to help the Karner blue have included planting fields of lupine flowers." If you go to the pine bush, you can look for these flowers. Some plans have not worked out so well, however. In one case, a group gathered many eggs, hoping to raise the larva, but none of the eggs hatched. In another case, people learned about controlled fires were not enough to restore the Karner blue's habitat. Although there have been problems, the situation is improving for Karner blue butterflies. Everyone is still learning new things about the butterfly, and they are sharing what they know. So if you go to visit the Albany pine bush, you can look for the Karner blue butterfly and the lupine flowers that are a part of its habitat.